Welcome to Variant, where we love comics more than I can't wait to see the Punisher series on Netflix. I'm your host, Arris Quinones. A few weeks back, we gave you our list of the 10 best fighters in the DC Universe. And at the beginning of that episode, I said we would eventually do the 10 best fighters in the Marvel Universe as well. Well, today is that day, so sit back and enjoy. Before I get started, I do want to make it clear that this list is purely based on fighting skills, not how strong or powerful a character is, just like when we did the DC version of this list. So while characters like the Hulk and Sentry are incredibly powerful, that doesn't mean they're some of the most skilled fighters in hand-to-hand combat. It just means they can heavily rely on their raw power in battle, while other characters don't have that perk. So with that in mind, let's kick off the list with number 10. Leading off at number 10 is the deadly Scarlet Assassin, Elektra. When her father was killed when she was 19, she decided to leave New York and travel the world and study martial arts in China, where she would be trained by Daredevil's early teacher, Stick. Eventually, she began to gravitate toward the dark side and joined the Hand, becoming a deadly ninja assassin. After some time, however, she left the Hand and became an assassin for hire. She even became the Kingpin's #1 assassin, which says a whole lot. Within the Marvel Universe, she's widely considered one of the greatest assassins in the entire world. Besides being extremely proficient in hand-to-hand combat, she's an expert with all weapons associated with assassins, like katanas, ninja stars, throwing blades, and her weapon of choice, sais. Raphael would be proud. Next up at number 9 is the daughter of Thanos, Gamora. Simply put, Gamora was trained at a young age by one of the most powerful beings in the Marvel Universe, the Mad Titan Thanos. He trained her to be a master martial artist and had her physically augmented to be the ultimate warrior, physically equal to freaking Adam Warlock. Gamora is considered to be one of the best martial artists in the Marvel Universe and has mastered over 83% of the world's known armed and unarmed fighting styles from various cultures. On top of that, her physical augmentation gives her enhanced speed, reflexes, agility, senses, durability, and a healing factor. She also has super strength comparable to that of Iron Man. What I'm saying is, there's a reason why she's called the most dangerous woman in the universe. Number 8 is the man without fear, Daredevil. Despite being blind, Daredevil is a master martial artist and easily one of Marvel's greatest fighters, mostly due to his other senses performing at superhuman levels, which gives him a huge advantage in combat. For instance, he can hear or smell someone who's trying to sneak up on him long before they're anywhere near him. His enhanced senses also allow him to predict what moves his opponent is going to make by detecting and listening to the movements in the freaking air. Combine that with his radar sense and you have one incredible fighter. Daredevil keeps himself at the peak of human condition and is an expert acrobat. It's even been said that his equilibrium is on par with that of Spider-Man's. Overall, his acute senses combined with his mastery of multiple fighting skills like boxing, ninjutsu, jujitsu, and Krav Maga, to name a few, and his skilled use of his Eskrima sticks make him a force to be reckoned with. Not to mention, he's easily able to dodge bullets, and has fought some of Marvel's other best fighters like Wolverine and Black Panther to a standstill. In short, I'd say Daredevil is a no-brainer to be on this list. Speaking of Black Panther, he lands at number 7. Black Panther is essentially Tony Stark's brain in Captain America's body, which is the perfect combination of genius and elite soldier. Not really someone you want to piss off. T'Challa ingested a magical heart-shaped herb that enhanced his abilities to a low-level superhuman. I say low-level because he's not like the Hulk who can jump over freaking buildings. But in addition to being superhuman, Black Panther is an expert in almost all forms of unarmed combat, including mastery of all the secret forms of martial arts from Wakanda. But what really gives him an edge and makes him such a fierce fighter is that he's one of the smartest minds in Marvel and has the ability to call on the knowledge, strength, and experience from every previous Black Panther, which typically allows him to stay several steps ahead of his opponent. His amazing tactical prowess has enabled him to outmaneuver characters such as Reed Richards, Tony Stark, and Dr. Doom. That's just all kinds of nuts. So mix his genius level intellect and his master fighting skills with the fact that he's also a weapons master and expert marksman, and it's game over for his enemies. At number 6 is Wolverine. If all you know about Wolverine is from the X-Men movies, then you probably just think Wolverine is a brawler who heavily relies on his healing factor. But what the movies rarely show is that Wolverine is highly trained in numerous forms of combat, and I mean highly. Logan/Wolverine has learned pretty much every fighting style on Earth, As an example, he's a master of 28 forms of Kung Fu alone. On top of that, he has a strong understanding of key pressure points located on not only the human body, but also on several alien and even supernatural bodies as well. He's so skilled in hand-to-hand combat, in fact, that he's beat Iron Fist and Shang-Chi. If you don't already know, you'll see why that's impressive shortly. Wolverine is also a master swordsman who has been described as having flawless technique by freaking Silver Samurai. So mix all of that with having one of the best healing factors in comics and his nearly indestructible claws and skeleton, and it's easy to see why he's one of Marvel's most formidable fighters. At number 5 is a member of the Inhumans royal family, Karnak. In a nutshell, this guy is a living weapon. And unlike the rest of the Inhumans, Karnak wasn't subject to the Terrigen Mist to give him superhuman abilities. Instead, he studied in the Tower of Wisdom and became a master martial artist and developed insane mental discipline. In addition to knowing countless forms of martial arts like pretty much everyone else on this list, his ability to sense the point of weakness in any object, person, or idea really sets him apart. He essentially can find the fault in anything, allowing him to exploit and take down people he theoretically shouldn't be able to beat. Any true Marvel fan knows that Taskmaster would have to be top 5 on this list, and he is indeed at number 4. Some would probably argue that he should be even higher on this list, but I'll explain in a second why he's at 4 and not somewhere in the top 3. As for his skill set, Taskmaster possesses photographic reflexes. This means that he could flawlessly mimic any fighting style he's ever seen. So in pure hand-to-hand combat, he's almost unstoppable because, well, he can copy any and all fighting styles. With that said, some of you may be thinking, with that ability, shouldn't he be at number 1? But no. I don't think so, guys. Because while he can copy the moves of any fighter he sees, it doesn't mean he's able to pull those moves off with the same level of power. For example, he may be able to throw a punch exactly like Captain America, but he won't have Captain America's super strength, as he can only mimic technique and not the superhuman abilities of his opponents. Nevertheless, Taskmaster is a beast of a fighter and has trained supervillains and heroes. In fact, he became the US government's combat instructor in order to clear his record. Dude is no joke. Landing pretty at number 3 is good old Captain America. Due to the Super Soldier program, Captain America was mentally and physically enhanced to be the perfect soldier. And since World War II, he has mastered most forms of hand-to-hand combat and martial arts. Even though he has learned a crap ton of fighting styles over his long life, he's developed his own personal fighting style that blends judo, karate, boxing, jiu-jitsu, and acrobatics. Yeah, that's right, acrobatics. His acrobatic skills even rival Daredevil's. Some fans say Cap is even a better acrobat than the Man Without Fear. On top of all that, Captain America is a super soldier, so he has enhanced speed, strength, reflexes, agility, durability, and so on. So imagine a guy with all those enhancements and then throw in the fact that this same guy is a master in most forms of martial arts and an excellent strategist due to years of military training. Yeah, Captain America is a beast. Coming in at runner-up is Iron Fist. Iron Fist is so skilled, he's beaten almost every person on this list at one point or another. He has been trained to be a living weapon, which makes him known as one of the best martial artists in the world. On top of being incredibly skilled in almost all forms of martial arts and a master in the mystical Kunlun martial arts, Iron Fist has access and the experience and skills of all the Iron Fists that came before him, which is all kinds of nuts. As Iron Fist, he has pretty much enhanced everything like reflexes, durability, chi healing, strength, speed, stamina, etc. Of course, most notably, he has the Iron Chi powered fist, which allows him to punch through almost anything, like, you know, a helicopter. But even without his superhuman abilities, Iron Fist is one of the greatest fighters to have ever walked the earth. He takes martial arts to a whole new level. For instance, his thought process is far ahead of his opponents 9 times out of 10, which makes it nearly impossible to surprise or outthink him during a fight. I guess the fact that there's only one person above him on this list tells you everything you need to know. At number 1 is Shang-Chi. He's not an A or B list character like pretty much every other character on this list, but that doesn't take away how skilled this guy is when it comes to martial arts. He doesn't have any superpowers, but he's so skilled in hand-to-hand combat that his fighting skill alone is considered a superpower. Because of his great martial arts skill, he has been able to defeat countless superhuman opponents. And like Iron Fist, Shang can focus his chi into energy. He also has complete control over his nervous system, which allows him to deaden his body to physical pain. Yeah, that's crazy. The guy can even slow down his freaking bleeding because of this. In short, he's not just a master, but a grandmaster in all forms of Chinese martial arts, hence him being called the Master of Kung Fu. Now, even though Iron Fist is technically more powerful than him, Shang-Chi is regarded to be the better hand-to-hand fighter. And since that's what this list is about, Shang-Chi had to be sitting pretty at number 1. As far as honorable mentions go, you have Deadpool, Stick, Black Widow, Hawkeye, Moon Knight, and Silver Sable. So let us know what your list would be in the comment section, and head over to variantcomics.com to join in the conversation about today's episode with the rest of the Variant Nation. I want to be healthy, but I'm way too busy to get to the store and buy ingredients to make what?
You mean lazy?
I am not lazy. I have a lot of editing going on. I want to get a month. I want to be healthy, but I am way too busy to go to the store to get all the ingredients to make a nutritious and delicious smoothie. Enter Daily Harvest. Oh, magic.
Oh my, that's terrible.
What do you mean? That is not terrible. That is production value. Daily Harvest delivers perfectly portioned smoothies and ready-to-go cups right to your front door or desk. So what do you say we pick one and get to smoothing? Oh, magic. Now let's get those ingredients in there and blend it up. It's so easy. Man, delicious. Almost like it was made from a team of chefs and nutritionists. Daily Harvest has 14 different blends of smoothies, not to mention other products. Go to daily-harvest.com/variant or click the link in the description and use the code VARIANT to get 3 free smoothies. First up for Wednesday, September 27th, we have Batman Beyond issue 12. Batman and Bruce Wayne are away, so who's left to protect Neo Gotham? Enter Nyssa, the seldom seen 15-year-old Batgirl of the future. Here we have Detective Comics issue 965. This is the start of us finally finding out where in the heck Tim Drake has been. And when he finds out who's locked in there with him, Tim's world will change in ways he's never imagined. Next up is the infamous Iron Man issue 12. With enemies on all sides, how can Victor Von Doom continue to carry on the legacy of Iron Man? Especially when the legacy of Dr. Doom still haunts him at every turn. And finally, we have Marvel Legacy issue 1. This is the beginning of Marvel's return to its ways of old. I don't want to say it's like their version of Rebirth, but it pretty much is. All I really care about, though, is good stories. So if that makes this happen, I'm all for it. And that brings another episode of Variant to a close, but remember to head over to variantcomics.com to keep up with all things Variant and chat with the rest of the Variant Nation. Also, we're going to be at New York Comic Con from October 5th to October 8th, so be sure to check all our social media accounts and our website to keep up with the con. But as always, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.